Well, hello, my friends. Today, I'll tell you a story from a game. This one right here, Dark Meadow. Hello, guys. Anyway, this is Dark Meadow. It's a game that I've played before, and only just discovered some of the things. I have two games running. Once I will play the intros. Well, these things here. This is a place where you are. The hell is that? In the town. Let's see if we... Oh, I was wondering. Yes, there are cicadas in this place, and it gives an eerie feeling. I will soon explain to you why. Just an intro. And back to this part here. And... nothing. Just gonna skip. Okay. No. I'm going to go to my first one, because the first one, even though in the second one, which is there, I had actually finished one of the bosses, in this one I did not. But I did collect all the things that I need. Now, the old man you see there, I will tell you about the secrets.
If you don't hurry up and do something, I might just start singing at you. You've been warned.
He's speaking through those things up there. He's an old man in a wheelchair. But I will tell you that he's not an old man. I will show you it later. Let's go to the library. Now, I managed to find this one right here and the other one, but not much. Now, some of these ones, these are all the different notes that I found in this game. But none that I need except for the scroll of a madman. Number 1. So what do you know of the Dark Meadow? Have you ever wanted something so badly you would have traded anything for it? Your loved ones, your health, your very soul. Won't it surprise you to know there are those who have made such trades? Oh yes, such deals are his specialty. Would you like to know more about him? About those who have made deals with him and about the payments he exacted? If so, look about you and you will find scrolls which tell the story. But do have care, there is a story you indeed want to hear. The greedy man thought he found the land. But the land found him. Oh yes it did. The Dark Meadow whispers to you in the day and in the night, although you do not know you hear. The greedy man made a deal with him, and he gave the greedy man everything he wished for. But he never comes out and tells you what the payment will be for your wish. He doesn't have to say it directly. He tells you just enough to make the deal, like all good traders do. The greedy man got his gold and his wealth and his home. But when time was meet, he took his payment. He took the light from the greedy man's heart, so the greedy man could feel no joy, no love, no pleasure, and what that was left was the dark sadness, anger, fear, and pain. The real reason he never tells you what the payment will be is that he never knows himself until it's time to pay. The payment could be part of you, or the whole. The payment could be another that you love, or many. I wonder, if any knew the payment beforehand, would they make a deal? Ah, but of course they would. They'd think they could get out of pain somehow. But you can't get out of pain. and he couldn't decline the payment if he tried. When he makes a deal, he agrees to accept the payment, no matter what it is. You should remember that. It's important. Oop. Wrong one. And so the greedy man, filling his heart with hate, because that was all it was good for anymore, vowed to have his vengeance on the trickster. But he might as well have sworn an oath to kill the ground for making his feet blister, or to make an example of the moon for bringing forth the howling of wolves. Still the greedy man persisted, and what he found was interesting indeed. He discovered that the legend of the sun weapons, great arms of yore, forged all over the world and enchanted with the power of the sun. Since he must remain in shadow at all times, was it possible that these weapons could hurt or harm him? Hurt or kill him? The greedy man vowed to find out. He traveled to the furthest corners of the earth, spending every last dime of his dwindling fortune until he had bought up every sun weapon he could find. Bringing the sun weapons back to the Dark Meadow, the Dark Man dug a cellar for them and built a hut upon it, there to wait, but he never showed his face, not even in the blackest night. Why would he? The greedy man coveted nothing, would make no more deals, and had nothing left he wanted anyway. So the greedy man sat and waited, a crossbow in his lap and a sword at his side, for a foe that never came. He waited still and silent, till he turned to ash in the grubby hut he had built. The hut was torn down and buried, its cellar still a secret. The greedy man had taken into the wind that blew him away, and the sun weapons were seen no more. Or were they? Perhaps you run across them. You never know what treasures you will find if you are keen of eye. Though he may leave the world of men for a time, he always returns, and he always finds someone else willing to make a deal. He smelled the builder's pride and hunger for his name to be on the tongues of men. The Dark Meadow sang a beckoning song. The builder came once in a great place that would tower over the Dark Meadow and sing a different song, one of his genius for many years to come. How could he refuse to make a deal with such a man, walking around like a ripe fruit ready to be plucked? God dang it. Stupid iPad. Okay, back to the thing. Okay, which one was it? Here we go. Oh, and sorry if you can't read it, my camera's not that good. A building for a building, that was the payment for the builder's wish. He took the builder's home, and all the souls in it. And the builder was ruined. And so he found himself sitting in the Dark Meadow as the greedy man had, waiting until he too turned to ash and was taken by the wind. But something strange happened. When he took the builder's home, someone managed to slip away. The angry lad was of the greedy man's blood. He had developed a taste for that blood. He vowed he would taste it again. Damn it. Somehow his patience is always rewarded. The angry lad proved to be a dedicated troublemaker, but this was of no matter to the lonely girl who bore him a child. Still, when the angry lad found his way to the Dark Meadow and the lonely girl followed, she was happy to make a deal to make sure the angry lad never hurt her baby. Now, as well with these School of a Madman, with all these other things you see here, like journals and all that, they talk about what's going on in the meadow. Where I'm not going to go through that because they are very large notes to read. Really, I've read them, but they're very long, and some are hard to figure out because there are some that I'm missing as well. I haven't been able to find them. And so he took the angry lad's mind. The lonely girl thought this would make him gentle, perhaps a good father, but that was not how he honored her wish. When the angry lad was set loose like a mad animal, the lonely girl had no choice but to send her baby away. The wish was fulfilled. The angry lad could never hurt the bandaged girl, so the angry lad, like a wounded beast following the scent of home, came to the lonely girl, and his anger and her sadness caught up the wind, and they turned to ash and were taken. He had been paid. The payment had been the angry lad's mind. A fine toy for him, perhaps, but it was meager earnings for one accustomed to much greater treasures. The bandaged girl was of the greedy man's blood too, and had slipped through his fingers, but he simply chuckled and resigned himself to wait. Blood runs downhill, and at the bottom of every hill lies a Dark Meadow, and he had all the time in the world for it to flow back to him. As he knew she would, the abandoned girl found her way back to the Dark Meadow, and there was a deal to be made. Her unborn child had been poisoned, and he could make her well. Surely there would be a handsome payment for that. But the foolish doctor intervened, fearing for the horrors that the unborn child faced. He took what he thought to be mercy on her and on her mother. No deal could be made. Even he could not undo what had been done. Fortunately for him, the foolish doctor had problems of his own, and was more than happy to make a deal to get them sorted out. Once the foolish doctor had made this deal, though he did not know what the payment would be, he had a very good feeling that when the term had passed, he would have lots and lots of time to punish the foolish doctor for interfering with his deal, with his plans. Okay, keep going. Where am I? I think I might have... No, I found that one yet. Okay, and what became of that foolish doctor? When he awoke from his nap, he found that the doctor's time of clarity and wellness was at an end, and his payment was the doctor's soul. And what becomes of the soul that is taken by the Dark Meadow? No one can say for sure. Do they become ghouls who roam the halls, lashing out in pain and fury at anyone that they encounter, destined to be killed again and again, but never die. Perhaps they become part of the Dark Meadow itself and its endless bounty of corruption and decay. Pray you never find out for yourself. And these monsters I keep finding in these hallways. I might do a video over them later, if I can survive, really, while doing it. When he is patient, he makes a glacier seem a raging river, and his patience always seems to bear fruit. Finally, after so many years, the abandoned girl had a son, and the fearful lad's illness brought him right to the Dark Meadow, as he knew he would. The fearful lad thought only of his parents, their pain and fear. It did not take much for him to break down the boy's resistance. In exchange for the security of wealth and comfort, with the added bonus of health to his parents' worries, the fearful lad traded away. What? Even he did not know, but sometimes the payment has a smell of its own, and he could swear it smelled an awful lot like the blood of the greedy man. 17 years of happiness and comfort did he give the fearful lad, and when it was up the Dark Meadow called, this time singing a song of joy and love of the bright girl. Yes, the fearful lad had a child of his own, and it was the bright girl's birth that brought the fearful lad back to the Dark Meadow, where he lay in wait to take payment in the form of the lad's soul. But in his cleverness he saw a way to double his profit. 17 more years did the fearful lad receive in exchange for the bright girl. He received the soul now, and in 17 years he reclaimed the fearful lad as well. Oh dear, would you like to know how the story ends? So would I. I know what to write. What do you think will happen to the fearful lad when his 17 years are up and he is called to the Dark Meadow, so the maker of deals can collect his due? And what do you think became of the bright girl? Alice, the story's end has yet to come. Perhaps it will be written by you. Just know this. On a warm summer's night, when the cicadas sing to you, beware, for they may be calling you to Dark Meadow. And if you're greedy or prideful or foolish or scared, you may find yourself shaking his hand without even remembering what it is you asked for, and without knowing what it is you will be made to give him in return. That's the story. And then these other notes, which I don't really want to go through. But here's the shocking part. The one who you thought to be your friend turns out to not be. Well, here we go. I have a confession to make. Oh. Yes, this is what he said. I have a confession to make. I'm actually an international agent of spying, and this place is a secret prison way of being held by camps. Okay, now this is where it gets weird. Okay, I have many names, but for now I'll call myself the Trickster. Remember the name the Trickster in the stories? When you were 7, I think it was, you were here at the hospital, not feeling so hot as I recall. So you made a deal because that's what I do. I make deals. And in exchange for your soul, I gave you 17 great years of health and more money than your family knew what to do with. 17 great years is more than most people get in a lifetime, and you got them all in a row. And you know what? I don't remember ever hearing a thank you. But that's okay, because that's not why I do it. You wouldn't last long in this line of work if you didn't do it for the love of the deal. So your 17 great years came and went, and you found yourself at the hospital again, this time welcoming a baby daughter into the world. And wouldn't you know, that's when I came around for you, silly little soul. I admit, the timing of the whole thing was unfortunate, and you were pretty terrified about the whole soul cleaning process. But okay, I'm willing to work with you. I'm all about finding solutions. At the end of the day, I'm a businessman. So I say, how about the girl? I'm not going to lie to you, I've never seen someone give up their baby daughters so fast. But hey, I get it. You are her, and she was just some little person you barely knew. If it helps in your place, I would have done the same thing. But I don't have morals or emotions, so you know. Take that however you want. Oh, that is a big twist. Turns out the man in a wheelchair that has supposedly been helping you this whole time has been the one who is a trickster. The one who is the person who makes the deals. Well, I am now going to bring up the other things. The notes. I'm going to pause this so I can do this. She woke up again.
17 more years of life for you in exchange for your daughter's soul. That was the deal we made, and you were thrilled to take it. Now, can I help it if no one ever reads the fine print? I never said they'd be good years. Your daughter gone, your marriage shattered, your fortune squandered, your only friend was a bottle. Hey, some of that is on you, you know. Not really. It was all me. Sorry about that. Not really. I'm not sorry. I was just being polite. No, actually, I wasn't being polite. I was taunting you to delight in your suffering. Anyway, you got your years. You spent them in pretty much total misery. 17 more years come and gone. And now your soul is mine to do with as I please.
Do you see what I mean now? The man who I thought was my friend was in fact the one who had doomed me in this place called the Dark Meadow. This is its different names. American Myths and Legends published 1968. The name Trickster refers to a number of old folk tales retold in the different farms across the American South and Southwest. One version from Louisiana refers to Robert the Mason. According to the legend, Robert the Mason was a stoneman. Robert was a stoneman Mason who lived a life of theft and deceit, but was given a second chance by St. Peter at the gates to heaven after foolishly returning to his evil ways back on earth. He was banished from heaven but unable to die, and so he took up residence in a Dark Meadow, where he tricked passing travelers into trading what was precious to them for worthless trinkets and baubles. A variation on the tale of the Robert the Mason says that he sleeps for 17 years, until the song of cicadas awakens, and once awake, he spends his summer making his wicked trades and collecting payment until the autumn winds lull him back to sleep. And first of the tale features a ne'er-do-well named Drunk Jeb, a wicked Jeb who makes a deal with the devil, offering up his soul in exchange for payment of his debts. When the devil comes to collect his due, Jeb tricks him by making him enter an outhouse and carving a cross on an outhouse door left inside. In exchange for removing the cross, the devil lynches his claim on Jeb's soul. However, because he lived too wicked a life to enter heaven, Jeb finds he cannot die. In revenge for his earlier trickery, the devil draws a circle of salt around the swamp where Jeb lies, so he can never leave, and offers Jeb a deal. Remain on earth as his agent collecting souls for him. The devil tells Jeb that when he has acquired enough souls, he will have a place in hell. But he does not tell Jeb how many souls he must collect. Jeb agrees, and the devil composes the Song of the Cicadas, to lower the depths in the Jeb's meadow so that he can grant them boons Historians... I gotta go now. My thing's gonna turn off soon, I think. Anyway, historians suggest that the devil in these tales does not solely refer to Satan from the Judeo-Christian tradition, but may also refer to the African trickster god Legba. Well, this has been a story of the Dark Meadow. I am very happy to share this with you. I gotta go. And may your life be filled with darkness.